Welcome to On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. We seek to restore pride and dignity of Africans through the power of reading and writing. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please do subscribe to our channel, Nolu Unlimited Multimedia. Today on our show, we are blessed to have Sir Prince Nqobizwe, who is here to share more on how he's promoting reading and writing, especially when it comes to academic excellence. Mr. Prince, thank you so much, sir, for coming to our show.
Pleasure, my pleasure, and thank you for hosting me. I'm happy to be here,
You're
sir.
welcome, sir. You're welcome. Let's talk. You're doing a very good job. You go all around, encouraging or coaching kids about academic excellence. I saw that you will be having an event very soon where you will be teaching the kids, or the learners rather, on how to pass even if they are artistically gifted.
That's right, yeah.
I was so impressed on that. And I want us to talk more on that today. But before that, please, let's know who you are.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sawubona mlaleli ekhaya. My name is Prince Nqobizwe from Thokoza Township in Ekurhuleni. Born and bred. I'm a guy from Ekasi who grew up with all the challenges as Ekasi. Had an opportunity to escape Ekasi life immediately after matric. I entered the world of work, residing at Midrand for some time, until life pushed me back Ekasi. And when I went back Ekasi, I was like, I do not wish for the younger ones to be I was in my mid-20s at that time, and I was like, I do not want someone to be 25 and say, I wish I would have taken school better. So I made up my mind to say, I'm going to go to schools, I'm going to transform mindsets, I'm going to transform hearts, I'm going to make sure that children or youth in high schools or in primary schools, as long as you are young, will get an opportunity to prioritize their reading and writing, not buying a show, but to prioritize their careers so much that they take seriously the education part of it.
Yes,
and grow with excellence. I've been doing that for those number of years, more than 10 years now. Just that because of life challenges, you'd find that I'm pushing this one time, and then because of funds, I'll have to go look for a job and work for some time, get the money, come back, say let's do some campaigns, and then when it's dry, and until it happened that now I'm working in a high school right now in Thokoza, which makes things better.
Yeah.
I'm able to access the schools.
No, definitely.
That's me. That's my introduction.
You have already actually outlined even the topic of today, so we'll just continue on that.
Yeah.
The inspiration that you spoke about, that you said, I don't want them to be like me. I want them to be better than me, so that they can take the education very serious. Yeah. I like that. And tell me, did you see the gap in your life and also in other, maybe your peers rather, when you were at school? Did you see the gap of academic excellence in their lives and in your life also? Yes.
I'm so sorry. I've just delivered the last copy of my books. I've written a book whereby I speak about, one of the topics says one day so Boba.
Yes.
When I speak about myself and my peers, we grew up in townships, and the only reference to excellence was our brothers and uncles who used to chill in the corners, and all they're doing, they're playing a game of dice. So my aspiration, I want to grow up and I want to know how to play the game of dice and have some money and wear nice clothes. That's the only reference that we have. So hence, I chilled and I said, you know what, guys, I've spoken to some of them to say, I wish I had a mentor when I was 16. I wish I had someone I had to look up to who is not only chilled or based like us. So I said, what can take us out of the Kasi mindset? There's nothing better than education. I passed my matric immediately in 2006 when I completed first time. But my passing was just what we called a Madoda score at that time. It's an average pass. So with the Madoda score, there's so much that you can do. You are limited. I couldn't get into university. I couldn't go into anywhere, you know. So I was like, the best solution for the younger generations, rather increase your marks, increase average. Average is not good enough.
Yeah.
Aim for the best, achieve your best. And I know that some people are artistically gifted. We'll get to that later. But there are some people like us, I've seen that there's a gap of people saying, I don't want to go to school because the richest people in the world, they don't have an education. And you look at that person, they're in grade 7, and you're like, the person you tell me about dropped out of Harvard University.
Exactly.
And what are you talking about? And in any case, there are some of our fathers and mothers of whom they had no opportunity to go to school. I look at today, there's opportunities, there's bursaries going around, there's sports that can give you a scholarship, there's learnerships, there's internships, there's vast opportunities that are available. And now I wanted the Kasi people to take advantage of those advantages.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. And you know, I remember when I was doing matric also, you know, there was this class teacher who usually, you know, pushed us to study biology. I hated biology. And we were failing biology. 90% of the class were failing biology, you know. And this guy used to say to us, guys, you must study, you know, you must study. It's not easy to study, you know. And he said, even the professor doesn't like to read. That's what he always said. But you have to study, you know. And so how can you really encourage, or how do you go about when you coach those learners? Because reading or studying is not easy.
It's not.
So how do you start? How do you encourage them to go on even if it's not easy?
It starts with the name of my organization or my company. It's called Edutainment Consulting, education plus entertainment, trying to fuse the two. In fact, the person that I am, I do not like a rigid setup. I'm a person who likes fun. I like to be engaged and so forth. So I decided that even myself, when I was in high school, when you teach me, I was doing science and pure maths and so forth. So when you tell me Newton's first law of motion, I'm chilling them. You know, it doesn't make sense to me. In fact, when I was in school, what we were taught, I thought it was made up. I never thought it can be referenced to real life situations. And it can. I hear people saying you can't use solve for X in real life. You can. You can. But we are not there right now. I'm speaking about the fact that in education, I said, my organization said, let us find the joy to reignite in learning. Let us reignite the joy in learning. And the joy is that what you are learning, it's not only for you to pass, it's for you to know it and be able to apply it as much as you can wherever you are. The more you learn is the more you realize that you need to learn more. So I said to the young children, this is my motivation. If you've never heard me speak, every high school I go, I tell them, when you celebrate others, you'll be celebrated. I was doing grade 9 at one point, looking at people in the assembly doing what is called a beauty contest, modeling. And then they were being celebrated. And I felt like I want to be celebrated. But at that time, my tummy was bigger than what it is right now. And I was like, since I can't go on stage, but what am I good in? Then I tried as much as I can, and only to find that mathematics was very easier. You know, I find that I achieved about 90%, 94, 96 in that year. And I became part of the top 5. And towards the end of the year, I was the number 1 student in mathematics, and I was in the assembly, and I was being applauded. I was chosen to go to Cape Town. I was chosen to go to SAICA, part of the top 5 of this Institute of Chartered Accountants and so forth. Then I realized that if we bring an element of fun in education, then we can encourage the young ones. Hence, we started a program called Mr. and Ms. Thokoza High Schools that we try to do as much as we can, especially during the school holidays. We try to do motivational tours. And all we are saying that thing is that you on stage, it's not for you to be on stage. It's for you to encourage other people. If you are good in mathematics, be good in mathematics. You don't have to come on stage. You will be celebrated wherever you are celebrated.
That's very true. So, you know, what is the advantage of, apart from, you know, you spoke a very important thing of saying, it's not all about studying to pass, but it's about learning on how to use that in real life. But apart from that, what are other benefits of someone who is listening to us now, is watching the show now, and is hearing us talking about academic excellence? What is in for me to be excellent in my studies? If I don't pass Nqobizwe score, someone else passing Nqobizwe score, Naming passing a distinction. What is the advantage?
Okay. Before I get there, in fact, going there, I'm remembering a quote by one great man who says, once your mindset is expanded, once it's threshed, it can never go back to its original position. So one of the biggest purposes of education that you need to know is that the more you learn, you are expanding your mind, you are increasing your mindset. And once it's expanded, it will never go back to its shallowness. Your reasoning will not be shallow. You will not be a person that makes noise and now wants to swear at people. You'll do what I call increasing your vocabulary. Instead of increasing the volume, just increase the vocabulary. You have more words to say. So the benefit to academic excellence, number one, is that you've got an enlarged mindset. And once you have that, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. You can be wherever you want, which is also a dangerous statement as well. When I was doing grade 10, or when I was supposed to go to grade 10, I found myself in the science stream because I was told that you are too smart. Choose science because you can be anything you want. And there's no one who wants to be anything, because what is anything? How do you know when you are anything? So the best thing that you can do, the more you learn, or the advantage of learning more, it's also figuring out what do you enjoy the best. For me, it's only later on in life that I realized, as much as I'm good in English, in science and maths, but what I enjoy the most is speaking more than anything. Of which, when they said to me in school, hey, there's a debating society, please come and join debate public speaking, I thought that it's for people who do not want to go to class, and I let them go and I didn't participate. But if I participated from back then, then my options would have been narrowed to say, this is a communicator, this is the type of a person. So when you learn more, you learn, and you need to do what we call getting mentors, so that they identify your giftings, so that your academics are linked to what you are naturally gifted with.
Nice.
Yeah, so the more you learn, the more you have a vast knowledge. I was telling the grade 9s the other day, EMS and NS, do not take it light whatever marks you are achieving there. If you are good in EMS, obviously you must go to the commercial stream. If you are good in NS, you must go to the science stream. So you learning and achieving for the best in everything will put you at an advantage of, you don't have to guess which career you need to follow. You don't have to guess what do you think you like. You have given your best to all. So the one that has better results, you check if your gift is linked to that, and then you follow that, and you will excel, and you'll be a better person for others. Because if you open a business, you hire people, you are a great asset to the country, a great asset to the world. We need more people who are educated. We need more people who will open more doors for people. So the more we learn, the better.
On the same note of channeling yourself into your gifting, let's talk about this one of I am gifted. And you mentioned something very important earlier of saying, some will say, no, I don't need education because a rich so and so who is rich never went to school and whatever. No, they will mention such things. One person said, you don't need a degree to become a billionaire. Rather, you need a degree to work for a billionaire. Someone said that. So you hear such statements, and people argue and say, no, this is true. No, this is not true. You understand? So let's talk about that one, that I'm artistically gifted. What's important of me personally at school, or my academic excellence? Do I need? I remember, when I was doing matric, there was this guy who was always making jokes when it comes to biology. When that teacher was pushing us to study, he will say to him, Mina, I don't need to pass biology because I'm going to be a taxi driver. You understand? Usually, he was funny, that guy. So, but let's take it in a real sense of saying, I'm artistically gifted. Is there a need for me to pass at school?
Without trying to be rude, however, such people not being rude to you, but if we go back to the very statement that I said, to say you stretch your mind, you open your opportunities. So it means if you're reasoning in such an instant, for example, making a reference to money, you say you don't need education to be a billionaire, you have what we call a shallow mind. Shallow mind means you are thinking for today, you are thinking for tomorrow, you are thinking for 5 years. In fact, we can even fail to answer the question of 5 years. You need to live a life whereby you have what we call an end in mind. I'm here, I know at what age I'm going to die. I got into an accident the other day. People like, weren't you scared? I said, no, I haven't done the things that I aim to achieve. And my age of death, the net worth it's a lowest contributing factor to why I want to get them. So money, we love making it a main source, whereas it's just a resource. It's supposed to propel us for something greater. It's supposed to propel us to serve a certain purpose that we are called for on this planet Earth. Because I know billionaires, in fact, personally, I know billionaires, I know millionaires, multi-millionaires who are having miserable lives. Not necessarily miserable because they are okay. But there's something called fulfillment that a human being needs to have in all the time. The things that fulfill you sometimes is not even related to even money. Money is a byproduct of what you need to do. So if you are artistically gifted, Mtana Sekaya, number one, it means you are an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship, it's not someone opening a business. Entrepreneurship, it's a gift. So if you're artistically given, like it or not, you have to adopt the fact that you're an entrepreneur. I don't know how far can I share because I don't want to reveal too much. And then now I don't get bookings anymore. But let me tell you, if you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a business by yourself. And as a business, you might see a person, I won. But one is divided by a lot of people. When you're a business person, you need a financial manager, you need marketing manager, you need a legal services, you need all of those things. A minimum of 5 people around you. Now, woe unto you. The Bible says that. It says, woe unto you. If you have to calculate how much money did you make from a certain gig, you don't know how the accountant does the numbers. Woe unto you if you don't know any legal jargon that is related to your career, not to anything else. Maybe you're a musician. Related to that, there's what we call jargon related to that. There's industry knowledge that is related to that will help you to keep you there at the top. That will help you to even groom others. Then for you to get that, you need to learn, you need to study. That's why I said we are not learning for the exam. We are learning to know so that we become better people. Study to show thyself approved. Someone made a reference of a tree. Said a tree, when I look at artists, that's what I see. A tree, I look at a tree and I look at artists and I say a tree is better. An artist want to say, I'm gifted, give me a gig, book me, I'm this and this. But a tree will not do that. A tree will stay at one place, but it will blossom. It will have fruits and people will come and get the fruits because the tree decided to blossom. So if you're an artist, don't go around trying the best thing that you can do where you are, make sure that the ground is fertile, feed yourself with the nutrition, feed yourself on amanzi, feed your mind, and then you will have fruits that will attract people to you, that will attract stadiums to you, that will attract everything to you. So you need education as an artist. I share more in my seminars. I don't want to even go into. But yes, you need definitely. The more gifted you are, the more you need more education.
You remind me one of the artists that I know, and he told me plainly of saying, I lost a lot of income because of not being educated, because he said my recording company actually robbed me.
Yes, sir.
And very easy, they didn't put a gun on me. No, they brought the paper and they said sign here. you know, and I
Look at the paper you signed.
exactly, because I was not educated to understand what the content of the contract. You know, so when you say that, you remind me of that artist, and he was talking about the importance of studying, of you know, getting education, of understanding things in life, not only focusing on saying, no, I'm good in singing. Yes, you're good in singing. You know, singing will bring you money, but there are people who can just come and take your money because you are not educated.
Yeah.
So I now get your point of saying, why is it important for one to be educated, even if that person is gifted?
Mr. Mokoto, when I do coaching, I do something called a diagnostics, because we are not at the same levels of life in everything. So what you're saying right now reminds me, a diagnostic will tell you where a person is. I work in the English department where I work right now. There are people who cannot even construct a sentence at our age and so forth. So you realize that there are some people that when we speak about education, we're not even speaking about a degree. We're not even speaking about a grade 12, but we are speaking about basic numeracy and literacy, and of which you can't, in this day and age, you can't survive without. Even the phone that we are using and whatnot, you either adapt. There's a saying, I don't like it, I think it's a hip-hop one. It says adapt or die. It's true at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's either you adapt or you die. If you
Yeah.
don't adapt, you become extinct like dinosaurs. They don't exist anymore. So if you want to go on for longer, make sure that you learn as much as you can.
Yeah. No, very
And from
true.
where you are, there's nothing wrong with saying, mina kahle kahle, the reason why I don't want, when you're saying academic excellence, it sounds too broad for me. Me, I don't even know my name is. I say my name is, and then we'll work there, and then we'll grow with you. But never look down on education. Never look down on learning. Never look down, whether it's classroom or anywhere. But learning is learning. We need to learn we need to learn directions. The board, I'm going to Cape Town, N1. What does it mean? You know.
Yeah. No, you know what you are saying is very true, and I think really we have to take that into consideration. If we believe we are artistically gifted, we really have to take that into consideration. You know, I always say to people, I had an opportunity of going to university even if I did not finish. But I always say to people, you know, someone will tell you that I went to university but I didn't study, I didn't learn anything because I became what I didn't study at university. But I usually say to people, you know, university has made me. I write books today, and when I look back, I realize that if I did not go to university, the language that I'm using now in my books, I could not have used it. You understand? So I always say university has made me to become an author that I am today. You know, I acknowledge that. Yes, I did not get the degree that I was studying to, but what I learned there has made me to become the author that I am today. So I think it's a realistic that we must accept as people, especially those who are gifted, you know, and not be ignorant of saying, no, I'm going to focus on my gift. I don't need to stress myself with maths and science, as you are saying. That will benefit you in your career. You know, somehow it will relate and benefit you if you are not shallow-minded, as you have said.
Through education, my brother, you can be in a dark room somewhere, even shack, in a dark shack. You can be in that dark shack somewhere, naturally or physical. That's what we're seeing. But through education and reading, your mind can be in Cape Town, you can be in Cairo, you can be in the United States of America through reading while you are still here.
Yes.
And like I said, once your mind is expanded, it will never go back. So use education to say, if my environment is not good enough for me, but I will borrow the environment of others to be where I want to go.
Very true. Mr. Prince, unfortunately, we don't have much time. You know, I wish we can go all and all, but we don't have much more time. If people want to get hold of you, to book you, you know, you spoke about bookings.
Yes, please.
Where can they get hold of you?
Yeah, the best contact is social media these days. I'm available on all social media platforms as Sir Prince 2030. And if you open any wall, you go to Instagram, anywhere, you'll find my cell phone number. It's my personal cell phone number. You call me, you text me, I respond.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prince. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching On Writing with Onkarabile, the show that is aiming to promote reading and writing in our communities. Please do subscribe to our channel, Nolu Unlimited Multimedia. Do share, like the interview. Thank you so much.